Welcome to Faith and Fishing Live. The show will begin in 1 minute. Welcome to Faith and Fishing Live. The show will begin in 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's begin.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How about this? How's it going, y'all? All right. Nothing like some good old technical difficulties to get things started. All right. Hope everybody is doing good. Welcome to Faith and Fishing Live. So, Faith and Fishing is the podcast where we bring interviews with fishermen from all walks of life, and they talk to you about what they believe in, and decided to start a live show. So before I get things started, I'm going to try to figure out what that hum is. Not sure what it is. It'll stick around with us. So Susky After Dark, what is up, man? Yeah, sorry it took me a little bit to answer there. Like I said, we experienced some technical difficulties to get things started, but yeah. So for the Faith and Fishing Live, what we're going to be doing some Q&A. We're going to be talking some topical stuff, and just kind of playing it by ear, seeing how it goes. But so for this first episode, the main thing I want to do to start off with, I want to thank sponsors. So, Jade's Jigs, Atollas, Get Outdoors Pedal and Paddle, Savur Outdoors, Mr. B Lure Company, and, Quail Ridge Books. They all take care of me. So if you're new to the podcast, and if you're listening on the podcast platform, welcome. I'm glad you're here listening. Yeah, so to get things started, down at the bottom there is what looks like a, sorry, we got a little visit from Rosie, the beagle. So if she gets loud on us, I apologize, but yeah, so, if you're listening on the podcast, this will be going up as a podcast. You can tell I am not used to live stuff. And we will see how it goes. But yeah, so, if you have questions, down at the bottom there is a little comment looking thing with like a speech bubble with a question mark in it. Click on that and put the questions there. That'll help me find them. Sorry, I'm set up beside the water bowl for the dog. All right. So, yeah, so I've been asking for topics, to kind of get us started. I want to do some fun stuff. I want to do some stuff that is, a little more serious. You thirsty? All right. So, but yeah, so, the first question, or the first topic I got rather, was, let me pull it up. It was best fishing snacks. So if you listen to the podcast, you know we have a what's your favorite segment. One of those questions is what's your favorite fishing snack? Now this topic is a little bit different. So that is, if you've got a topic, drop it down in the bottom. We can jump on that. But so yeah, this is a different question because best doesn't necessarily mean favorite. So my favorite fishing snack is crunchy Cheetos. It's easy for me. I don't have to use my hands. I can just dump the bag into my mouth. I love them. I love the crunch they give me. But as a fishing snack, is it a best fishing snack or is it just one of my favorites? So, it's an interesting topic because, you don't really get much energy from, crunchy Cheetos. Like you would say, like peanut butter or Cliff Bar or beef jerky or something like that. So, it's definitely not nutritious. It definitely has a lot of sodium, will make you thirsty faster. So those are all things to kind of keep in mind. As far as the best, I love to take like a little packet of peanut butter with me, knead it up, and just kind of, eat the packet of plain peanut butter. If I don't have water with me, that is a terrible idea. It does get you some energy and stuff, but as far as getting your mouth all dry and everything, it can be a terrible idea. The energy bar, like a Cliff Bar or something, I can see how that could be ranked as a best fishing snack, except for one thing. They taste terrible. I hate those things. So, I can definitely see, the benefit of the Cliff Bar, the energy bar. Others that I see a lot, is a beef jerky. I really like beef jerky on the water. Especially like a homemade, jerky or deer jerky. That's all awesome. Looks like we're back. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, so beef jerky, definitely ranks really high up there. If you are, fishing for catfish or something where you're getting your hands all nasty with chicken livers and everything, something that you use your hands for isn't necessarily the best. But yeah, there's all kinds of fishing snacks that I've heard. One of my favorites was listening to Jimmy Houston talk about his favorite. He said that his favorite fishing snack is the white Little Debbie snack cakes. And while, that doesn't sound like a great fishing snack to me in terms of like getting all that sugar and everything on the water, it definitely, they taste good, and I could definitely see enjoying one on the water. He was talking about how, if he were sponsored by Little Debbie, then they would have to change the name to Big Deborah. But yeah, Jimmy Houston is a hilarious guy. And yeah, so yeah, that question is an interesting one. Definitely, big shout out to Nicholas Beltran for sending that one in. If you're not familiar with Nicholas Beltran, go check out his Instagram and YouTube channel, Tackle Fishing Adventures. Man, he puts out some awesome content, especially those videos. Hang on just a second. Especially those videos on YouTube, man. They are very, very well produced, and he definitely definitely deserves some shout outs for that. He is very, very talented there. So big shout out to him. And funny enough, that was the only suggestion that I got so far. So I'm going to do a couple topics of my own here. First off, I just kind of want to kind of dive into my sponsors, who they are. So Jade's Jigs, I mentioned them. They are lead-free finesse jigs. Street fishing anglers, what is up? So welcome to Faith and Fishing Live, man. So yeah, Jade's Jigs, lead-free finesse jigs, super awesome. They out of Missouri, and awesome guy. Joey is the owner there, and they have some awesome colors, awesome paint work, and they just flat out catch fish. I'm not a finesse fisherman by any means, but man, do they start to change my mind on that, especially the skirted finesse jigs for me. They have been awesome. Get Outdoors Pedal and Paddle. They are absolutely a phenomenal pedal and paddle shop up in Greensboro, North Carolina. One of the biggest kayak retailers in the Southeast, and just they have a phenomenal selection of bikes and biking accessories, Yak Attack, PFDs, paddles, all that stuff, man. They are phenomenal. Savur Outdoors. If you drop your stuff in the water, you want to be able to get it back. Savur Outdoors makes retrieval devices for fishing rods, bow fishing bows, action cams, and one that can clip on pretty much anything with a carabiner or a split ring or key ring. They work very similar to a like an inflatable PFD. They got the salt tablet that holds back a spring, and they have a plug on it that is pressure sensitive. So that means that if it's raining, if you just dip your rod tip in the water, it's not going to go off. But if it gets underneath the water and that pressure pushes water in, it will dissolve that salt tablet. It'll shoot a float up. It's got 60 feet of line. You get it back. So they take care of me. I am super clumsy, and I am very thankful to have them on board. Speaking of being clumsy, Atollas. That's this logo right here. Atollas, they're the ones that keep my sunglasses floating. So they've got the retainers for sunglasses. Super light, super durable. I mean, they hang on to, you're not going to break those things. And if you do, they got a lifetime warranty. They'll replace it, no questions asked. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's see. Let's see, Mr. B Lure Company. Some skirted baits. They have these things called swim blades that are like spinner baits, without the skirt and the jig head. They're just like a swim bait hook with the spinner bait over top of it. They've got something similar to a chatterbait that has the instead of the blade being attached to the jig head or to a split ring, it's on a post out here like that, and it makes it slither. Really awesome lure there. And let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quail Ridge Books. They are sponsoring the newest segment on the Faith and Fishing podcast. It's a book review segment, and it is called What You Reading. And Quail Ridge Books is where I work. I handle all of their maintenance and IT. And yeah, we have an amazing selection of books. You can get pretty much whatever you want. If we can't find it, that means it's probably out of print and you're not going to be able to get it anywhere. But yeah, so for Quail Ridge Books, if you want to check them out, go to quailridgebooks.com/faithnfishn, and that will take you to a page where you can see the books that have been on the podcast reviewed. You can see some of my recommendations for books for Bibles. I'm going to have a kids book page up there pretty soon, so keep your eye out for that. I did not go through discount codes, so for Mr. B Lure Company, that is Faith, the letter N, Fish, the letter N, POD 1X10. That'll get you 10% off your first purchase. Then Atollas, Faith, the letter N, Fish 15, and that will get you 15% off of your purchase. Savur Outdoors is FNFP 15, and you'll get 15% off there. And then Jade's Jigs is FNF10 for 10% off of your purchase. So definitely use those promo codes if you're going to be hitting those up. So yeah, some other fun topics. If you've got a topic you want to talk about, drop it down in the comments. We are definitely up here for you. We want to talk about what you want to talk about. So if you've got a topic that you want to throw out there, if you got questions, throw those up there. Definitely, that's what we're here for. So, but yeah, we some of the topics I want to talk about in the future probably will be some ones that will take up a whole episode. Maybe try to have some guests up here. I think we got that figured out last night to be able to record a guest on here. So yeah. If you are into functional ceramics, check out Porch Dog Pots. That is my wife's pottery, and it's awesome functional ceramics. Go Instagram at Porch Dog Pots or porchdogpots.com. But yeah, so I guess something I can do is I can kind of share some of my story as to who I am. I did that a little bit in the intro, the very, very first introductory episode of the podcast, but it wasn't an in-depth kind of story, and I don't know that I'm going to go in-depth here, but I'll kind of give you at least a nutshell version of who I am. So as far as fishing goes, my earliest memories are of fishing. My grandpa had a creek running behind his house that we went and fished with bread balls on a really small hook with a bamboo pole. Fished for little minnows, creek chubs. We called them knotty heads because they in the summertime, whenever they were spawning, they had the big spikes on their head, or at least the males did. And then we caught crawdads down in the creek and caught hellgrammites and all that good stuff. And with my dad, he worked for the Forest Service, for North Carolina Forest Service, and he got permission to fish a lot of farm ponds and stuff. And we would go and fish and soak night crawlers under bobbers and stuff, all that good stuff. Caught all kinds of fish, and whenever he trusted me to be able to cast by myself and everything, he handed me a Zebco 33 and a Panther Martin and took me bass fishing. And that's kind of where I got my start in terms of fishing. And like a lot of people do, they kind of hang it up. They move on to other things. For me, it started out as basketball. I was really big into basketball for a while, and then got into high school, started moving towards music instead. I played bass, and really got into that. Was trying to will some different bands, praise and worship bands, Christian rock bands, all kinds of different groups, just having some fun. Sometimes we were trying to travel, play different camps and play different churches and stuff. But but yeah, we had had a lot of fun with that, and then jumped back into it. So I was working as a youth pastor and at an elementary school, and in retail. And I just needed a way to kind of take a break, get out and not do a lot. And I ended up picking up bass fishing, jumping into a kayak, fishing for anything. I mean, soaking minnows for crappie and pickerel and perch and bass, and fishing lures for whatever would bite them. Fishing for bass and bowfin and pickerel and stuff. It was awesome. And then I ended up kind of decided, just jumped into it, and it hooks you. You said Street Fishing Angler says I just started fishing seriously about 4 to 5 months ago. That is awesome. Yeah, I don't know that I can say that I have started fishing seriously yet. That is probably I'm fishing in my first in-person tournaments this year. So that's going to be fun. Helping out as the chaplain for the Central Carolina Kayak Fishing Tournament Trail. And I'm going to be fishing a few of those events, and I'm really looking forward to that. So you say about 4 to 5 months ago. Where are you located, Street Fishing Anglers? But yeah, so that was 2017, I think, is whenever I got the kayak in 2016, started fishing from it in 2017, and just kind of kept going and going and going, and just it's like a snowball. You just keep picking up more and more and more, and diving deeper into it. Street Fishing Anglers from the San Francisco Bay Area. That is awesome. I don't know anything about fishing over there in the in California except for what I've heard on Bass Thumbs Fishing. Yeah, they that's a completely different world over there. for sure. But yeah, so as far as fishing goes, that's kind of my story. And then as far as who I am as an individual, I've already said I work maintenance and IT. I run a podcast about fishing and faith, and I am a dad and a husband. And, I love God, and He loves me, despite me not deserving it all the time. So, yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. But yeah, I see, Mike Ovaska joined. Welcome to Faith and Fishing Live. So if you've got a question or topic you want to talk about, definitely drop it down in the comments. And if you don't get to hear all of it here, tomorrow morning it will be uploaded as a podcast episode. So, it is going to be a completely different style of podcast for me, for sure. I'm used to being able to, whenever it's just me, at least go in and edit and help out with the sound and everything. The only thing I'm editing here is going to be volume. I'm going to make sure it's loud enough that people can hear it, and that's going to be about it. But yeah, so normally with the interview on the podcast, I don't edit that at all, unless the guest asks me to specifically. Normally that stays the same, but the segments where it's just me talking, they're typically pretty edited, because I kind of stumble over my words, as you have seen tonight. But yeah, so Street Fishing Angler says you're catching a little bit of everything, freshwater bass, stripers, bluegills, trout, and then you have saltwater sharks, rays, and can't forget about sturgeon. Oh man. Yeah, man. I would love to get out and catch some big sturgeon. You would have to kind of, you can catch them on the North Carolina coast, the Atlantic sturgeon, but it's kind of like, I think you have a better chance of hitting the lottery. I really do. I really think you have a better chance of winning the lottery at this point. Just because, we're not really in the right range, but it does happen sometimes, and that along with the fact that they're just already so rare, because of the caviar trade. But yeah, yeah, we have been going for, I don't know if I can see how long I've been going except for over here. Looks like somewhere around 25 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. So yeah, we're gonna try to make it a little bit longer. I see Micah Vasca, where are you joining in from? What are you fishing for, man? I don't know if y'all can hear that. But yeah, so I always tell my guests whenever I have them on, I always apologize for how loud my neighborhood is. And right now we've got some coyotes going out back. We have the fire department just up the road. The coyotes go every time the sirens go this time of year. Whenever it's whenever it's warmer, they're not back there. I don't know if it's that whenever stuff grows back there, they don't move. But whenever all the leaves fall off and everything, about middle of October, end of October is whenever they start showing back up. So, and they are, whenever they get going, they're loud. And then we've got, like I said, the fire department. We've got babies. Everybody has dogs on this stretch. A lot of us have, or a lot of neighbors have motorcycles. We've got all kinds of noise going on. So with a live show, we just kind of keep going. I always have to stop and listen to the coyotes, though. They're always fun to listen to. Sometimes they're a little creepy, but they're always fun to listen to. That's for sure. That one sounds a little bit closer than usual, but yeah. So they always sound like somebody screaming sometimes. But yeah, so as far as what I tend to fish for, you mentioned what you fish for, street fishing anglers. What I'm fishing for, most of the time I'm fishing for bass. But I love, going out and taking an ultralight and catching bluegill and green sunfish and pumpkin seed and red ear sunfish. And whenever you start naming them like that, you understand why here in the South we just call them brim. I love fishing for catfish. Carp has become a recent love. I used to hate fishing for carp. My dad really enjoyed fishing for carp, and I never liked it. They were too finicky. You had to, I never liked, fishing with the corn, and always having to deal with the turtles, and I never ended up catching any until recently. And what I did was I came across this company called Wicked Carp Company, and they make boilies and other baits for carp, and using them, I've actually had some luck. So that's a fish that's a lot of fun, especially from a kayak. I still want to eventually get the 30-pound mark from a kayak, but right now from the kayak, I think my personal best is somewhere in the 8 to 10 pound range. But from land, it's 25.1 pounds. So that was a grass carp at a very, very tiny pond here in Garner. But yeah, we are coming up on the 30-minute mark. And I am running out of topics. I'm not one that's super good at just kind of talking, so I'm gonna have to get better at that. I'm hopefully gonna be able to bring some guests onto these live streams here pretty soon. But yeah, so again, thank you to Atollas, Jade's Jigs, Savur Outdoors, Kid Outdoors Pedal and Paddle, Mr. B Lure Company, and Quail Ridge Books. And if you haven't listened to the podcast, go back and listen to some of the episodes. We've had some amazing guests that have some really, really, really awesome stories, and ones that I've gotten a lot out of. So definitely give them a check. Go check them out. But yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully next time I don't stutter as much, I don't say as much, and we don't have as many technical difficulties to get started with. So yeah, that's going to do it. Y'all take care, and God bless. Oh, and I am going to keep going for just a second because Street Fishing Angler said, I want to fish for carp. Everyone tells me they are super fun. Fight even the small ones. Yeah, so they really are powerful fish. See, the thing with carp is they're very, very buoyant. So it doesn't feel like you've hooked anything at first. They feel super, super light while they're in the water, and then they have these really aggressive, powerful bursts of energy. And most of the time, we're fishing for them on like a medium rod, because you're fishing with really light bait. You're fishing with corn, or you're fishing with a little dough ball or something. So yeah, they're definitely fun. You definitely want to make sure that you got the right kind of gear, a landing net or a place to unhook them is very important if you got a big one, because you got to hug this fish, and it's like a 25-pound, 3-foot long bar of soap that has muscles. So but yeah, so yeah, we're gonna end it there with some fun carp talk. Next episode of Faith and Fishing Live, we'll definitely jump into more of the faith side of things, and have some more fun with fishing stuff too. So yeah, y'all take care, and God bless.